Hello, welcome back to anatomy classes. We are continuing with the osteology of vertebrae. In previous session we have seen about the cervical vertebra, and today we are going to continue with the thoracic vertebra. There are 12 thoracic vertebrae, and out of 12 thoracic vertebrae, the first thoracic vertebra and 9th to 12th thoracic vertebrae are atypical, and 2nd to 8th thoracic vertebrae are typical. So that is about typical and atypical. So typical vertebrae are the vertebrae which share the common features. So what I am holding in my hand is a typical thoracic vertebra. In previous session we have seen how to identify a thoracic vertebra. Thoracic vertebrae is identified by facets which are present over the body. So here we can see the facets which are present in the body, which are called as demi-facets or complete facets are seen over the body. So by seeing the facets we can identify it as a thoracic vertebra. Now let's see the features of a typical thoracic vertebra. Typical thoracic vertebra has got facets over the body, and these facets are usually not complete, they are demi-facets. So we have two superior demi-facets and two inferior. This is one side, this is the inferior demi-facet, and here is the superior demi-facet. Superior demi-facet is little larger when compared to the inferior demi-facet, where the superior demi-facet articulates with the corresponding rib, that is the corresponding rib. So these facets are the costal facets. And typical is identified by a facet present over the transverse process. The transverse process bears a facet where the tubercle of the rib articulates. The corresponding tubercle, numerically the corresponding tubercle articulates with the transverse process. So these are about the facets. The other features we have seen, here is the body. The body has got superior and inferior surface, anterior and posterior surface. The anterior surface of the body gives attachment to the anterior longitudinal ligament, and posterior surface of the body which is forming a part of the vertebral canal. So the posterior surface gives attachment to posterior longitudinal ligaments. So these are the common attachments which we see in all the vertebrae. And the other common attachments are ligamentum flava. Here are the two laminae. So the laminae gives attachment to ligamentum flava. And here is the spinous process. Spinous process gives attachment to interspinous ligaments. And the laminae also gives attachment to the muscles which are present in the back. So the deep muscles of the trunk also attaches to the laminae and the spinous process. So here these are the pedicles which connects the body to the vertebral arch. The pedicles are connected to the upper side, superior side of the body, making a deep notch which is called inferior vertebral notch. So the inferior vertebral notch is deep and superior vertebral notch is shallow. So by identifying which is superior, which is inferior, by seeing the inferior vertebral notch. So inferior vertebral notch is deeper and superior vertebral notch is shallow. And the spine, it is oblique and it is downward directed. The spine is oblique and it is downward directed in a typical thoracic vertebra. So as we know, the transverse process articulates with the tubercle of the rib, corresponding rib. The transverse process gives attachment to the ligaments associated with this joint. They are called as costo-transverse ligaments. So let's see how a typical rib articulates with the typical thoracic vertebra. So if we see the head of the rib, it has got two facets, upper and the lower facets in the head, and even over the tubercle. The tubercle also consists of a facet. So let's see how it articulates. So the inferior facet of the head articulates with the superior facet of the thoracic vertebra, and the tubercle articulates with the transverse process. The superior facet, which is present over the head of the rib, articulates with the preceding vertebra. So this is how the thoracic vertebra articulates with the corresponding rib. I am holding in my hand is an atypical thoracic vertebra, which is the first thoracic vertebra. To identify it as the first thoracic vertebra, it appears to be almost like cervical, and it is a transitional vertebra where the body has the facets. So by seeing the facet over the body, we can identify them as the thoracic vertebra. And if we observe the superior facet is complete. It is not a demi facet, it is a complete facet, and inferior facet is a demi facet. So the superior facet articulates with the head of the first rib. So here is the first rib in my hands. So the first rib articulates with the superior facet, and this is the tubercle of the first rib, which articulates with the transverse process. So the transverse process also has got a facet which articulates with the tubercle of the rib. And here it appears to be like a cervical because the body is like cervical, having lateral lips projecting upwards, making the superior surface concave, and anterior border projects little down like cervical vertebra. And spinous process gives attachment to interspinous and supraspinous ligaments like other vertebra, and deep muscles of the back are attached to the lamina and the spine of the vertebra. Let's see other atypical thoracic vertebra. The next atypical thoracic vertebra is the ninth thoracic vertebra, that is T9. Thoracic are also called dorsal vertebra, so we can represent it as D9 also. So how to identify it as T9? If we see the transverse process, like a typical thoracic, it has got a facet. And if we see the facets over the body, the superior facet is almost like complete. Like T1, it is like a complete facet almost, and inferior facet may be absent or sometimes it may be present as a small facet. Inferior costal facet is small and superior facet is almost complete and near the superior border. And rest of the features are like a typical thoracic vertebra. So this is identified as T9. It is identified as thoracic ninth vertebra. Let's see the 10th thoracic vertebra. The 10th thoracic vertebra, the body is observed as a single and a complete facet. So this is the single complete facet which is near the superior border, and there is no facet over the inferior. So inferior facet is absent, superior facet is present. And the transverse process also bears a facet. So here the facet is present over the transverse process. So this is 10th thoracic vertebra. The costal facet extends till the roots of the pedicle. We can see here, this is the pedicle. So the costal facet extends till the roots of the pedicle. So next we shall move on to the 11th thoracic vertebra. So the 11th thoracic vertebrae, we know that 11th rib is a floating rib, so it doesn't have the tubercle. So there are no facets over the transverse process of 11th thoracic vertebra to articulate with the 11th rib. Single facet, here we can see a single facet present over the body, and this facet is near the superior border and almost overriding the pedicle. It is present almost over the pedicle. So this is the 11th thoracic vertebra, and the transverse process doesn't have any facets. The transverse process are blunt and there are no facets over the transverse process. And the spinous process almost looks like a lumbar vertebra where it is quadrilateral or rounded spine seen over the 11th thoracic vertebra. So let's see the 12th thoracic vertebra. So here is the 12th thoracic vertebra. 12th thoracic vertebrae is identified by a single facet which is almost in the center of the body. So it is neither near the superior border nor near the inferior border of the body. In between it is present. So here is, it almost looks like a lumbar vertebra because it is a transitional vertebra which is having a bean shaped body, and the facet is single which is present in the middle of the body. So this is the 12th thoracic vertebra, and the transverse process has got superior tubercle, inferior tubercle and lateral tubercles. So transverse process has got three projections just like lumbar vertebra, called as superior tubercle, inferior tubercle and lateral tubercle. And superior articulating facets looks like that of thoracic, and inferior articulating facets looks like that of lumbar vertebra. So if we see the posterior surface of any vertebra, the posterior surface of any vertebra is identified by small minute foramens, and these small minute foramens are meant for basivertebral veins. So the basivertebral veins traverses through these foramens. So this completes the thoracic vertebra. So this is all about the thoracic vertebra, the basic features of any typical and atypical thoracic vertebra. And in the next session we are going to continue with the lumbar vertebra. Hope these sessions are useful for your exams. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell icon for further notifications. Bye.